Days and then weeks went by of Eddie acting the same during the school days. But on weekends, he couldn't wait to go out with Ellen, holding her hand, and he gotten used to calling her mom. She was fully embraced as his mother, and she fully embraced him as her son. But the way he acted during school was still the same. Ellen couldn't help but be curious. As she was shopping for ingredients for dinner, she overheard some women speaking about a Parents' Day the school was having. She quickly looked it up in the store, and sure enough, tomorrow was Parents' Day, where they can come and observe their kids at school. It's been about 2 months since she and Eddie has been together. She's surprised Eddie didn't tell her about it, but it was tomorrow. Surely he will come home and let her know. Ellen excitedly made dinner knowing tomorrow was going to be a big day. She gets to see Eddie at school. She wondered how cute he will be when thinking hard or answering questions. Will he be embarrassed if he gets it wrong? If he is embarrassed, she will reassure him, and if anyone makes fun of him, she will make them suffer. Oops, Ellen caught herself. Old habits. I have to be a gentle mother for Eddie, she thought. Before she knew it, the door opened and Eddie ran and gave her a flying hug. I'm home, Mom. How was school? Ellen asked. Anything special happen today? No, it was a normal day, Eddie answered. Oh, well, is anything happening tomorrow? Eddie let go of Ellen, and as he turned away, told her that tomorrow's just a normal day as well. Eddie then ran in his room and shut the door behind him. Ellen, surprised at his lie, she thought that they have grown close in the past couple months. Not close enough, I guess, she thought to herself. The night continued and Eddie acted coy, eating dinner but not saying much to her, then quickly rushing off once he was done. Ellen sat there and scrolled through her database on parenting books. She came across one that explained at times parents have to make the first push, that children will come to appreciate it. Perhaps she was just looking for a reason and finally found one. It was decided she will be showing up on Parents' Day. The next day, she acted as normal in the morning, which brought relief to Eddie. It was Friday, and he was excited for the weekend. There was a petting zoo that they were going to, and Eddie couldn't wait. There were going to be fox cubs, Eddie's favorite animal. He ran out the door yelling bye, not knowing their reunion today was going to be quicker than usual. Then Ellen decided to get dressed up. She can't embarrass her son on her first meeting at school. She will meet his teachers, his friends, and also other parents. School ends at 3 p.m. Parents can begin coming at 1 p.m. and stay until the end of the school day. Ellen, while excited, kept her cool. She thought it would be too much if she came at 1 p.m. and stayed the whole time. She decided to show up at 2 p.m. Hopefully, Eddie isn't too mad at her for coming on her own without talking to him. But parents live to embarrass their children, she thought. She left in a simple getup, curled brunette hair, a white button-up shirt, tucked into her sleek black pants, a nice belt with a square buckle, and black heels. She stared at herself in the mirror and then smacked her cheeks before she can get lost in the thought of it all, and rushed off to the school. But all that awaited her was a shocking scene. Ellen arrived to the front of the school, to which they had some greeters, waiting to check in the parents. Ellen nervously walked up to the table they had set up. They asked who her child was, and she replied, Eddie. Ooh, the two were taken aback. You are Eddie's guardian. I'm his mother, Ellen quickly retorted. I apologize, said the woman. It just Eddie never speaks of his parents, nor have we ever seen them. I just assumed that they weren't around. We only saw a well-tailored man pick him up on occasion. Yes, well, he is gone, because I'm here now. They went on about how much they love Eddie. Turns out he actually skipped a grade and is already in second grade. I guess smarts run in our family, Ellen said with a smug grin. But she noticed this had dragged on for too long and pushed past the two. It's 2:15 now, and she wants to see her son in action. But it was already too late. Although class is still in session, lessons have already ended for parents to have time to chat with their kids and also ask the teacher any questions they have about the curriculum or their child specifically. While the other kids were chatting away with each other, Eddie was at his desk focused on his homework. And Ellen watched from the door with Eddie unaware of her presence. She peeked at Eddie alone in the middle of the class, head down, working quietly. He spoke to no one, and no one spoke to him. One particular rude boy bumped into Eddie's desk. He began to say sorry, but when he turned around and noticed it was Eddie, who he bumped into, the boy acting obnoxiously. "Oh, it's just Eddie. What are you doing here by yourself? Homework?" The boy grabbed the paper Eddie was working on and looked at it. "You're smarter than us anyway. One missed assignment won't hurt." The boy then ripped Eddie's paper into multiple pieces and threw them over his head, flakes falling all over Eddie's hair, to which the classroom fell into laughter. The boy's parents, who were speaking to the teacher, turned around to see what he commotion was, in which they saw their son acting so maliciously towards Eddie. They went to say something, but it was too late. Ellen's rage had already boiled over. She was gripping the door frame so hard it began to crack. And unable to contain herself, she lashed out. "What the fuck are you doing to my son?" Eddie turned around, more shocked than anyone. As Ellen came crashing in, "Little boy, did you not hear my question? I asked, what are you doing?" She came towering over the boy, who could only hold his head down in fear, to which the boy's father came over to protect his son. "Hey, don't yell at my son like that. I wouldn't have too if your son wasn't raised by animals." "Who are you calling an animal?" "You," Ellen answered as she shoved her finger into his chest. Forgetting her strength, it caused the man to be taken aback, as he slightly lost his breath from the hit in the chest. To which the teacher intervened, asking whose mother she was, to which Ellen looked down at Eddie, who looked at her with tears in his eyes. Embarrassed at the whole situation, Eddie lashed out at her. "Mom, why are you here? I didn't tell you to come." "I know, but I found out about it while shopping, and I thought it would be good for me to pop in. Look, there's pieces of paper in your hair," she said as she reached down to pull them out. Eddie smacked her hand away and ran out the room crying. Ellen screamed for Eddie, and before rushing out to chase him, looked at the classroom and said, "I'm not done with all of you yet." The way she said it sent chills down their spines. Then she chased after Eddie. Ellen ran out of the classroom and ran in the direction she saw Eddie turn. He couldn't have gotten far. The way he ran is just a hallway that leads to a dead end. As Ellen neared, she slowed her stride. As her hearing is better than most, she picked up on a young boy sniffling from inside a closet. Ellen sat on the wall near the door and asked if Eddie would come out, to which there was no answer. "I'm sorry, Eddie, I shouldn't have came. I didn't think I would embarrass you so much. I'll just go home and wait for you there. I'm sorry." You could hear Ellen holding back tears as she went to stand up and walk away, when suddenly the door slightly opened and a meek Eddie weakly said, "You didn't embarrass me." "What?" Ellen said as she squatted down to Eddie's level. Eddie still hiding behind the door. "You didn't embarrass me. To be honest, I really wanted you to come today, but I didn't want to embarrass you. I have no friends, and no one talks to me. Even the teachers ignore me most times, except when I'm doing good in class. They only care about my grades and nothing else. I thought if you came and saw me, you wouldn't want a son like me. Eddie reached out and grabbed Ellen's hand. But I like you being my mother. Tears began streaming down Eddie's face. I wanted to keep it a secret, so you wouldn't leave me. Ellen brought Eddie close, wiping his tears. It's okay, Eddie. No matter what kind of boy you are, Mom will still love you. Really? Eddie questioned. Yes. Even though I hid today from you, and I lied about how much I like school. Yes, no matter what secrets you keep or little lies you tell, Mom will always love you. But if you lie too much, I may have to scold you, Ellen said with a flick of Eddie's head. Eddie chuckled with a bright smile on his face now, eyes a bit puffy from all the tears. I think school is just about over. Why don't we head home? Eddie nodded in agreement, enthusiastically grabbing Ellen's hand. As they walked back near the classroom, Ellen poked her head in to notify the teacher that she will be heading home early with Eddie for obvious reasons. The teacher just said okay, and the two walked hand in hand back home. Once home, Ellen began cooking dinner. She was making a chicken pesto pasta with some cherry tomatoes. As she began to load up the plates, Eddie came from out of his room and sat at the table. When Eddie saw the plate, he called for Ellen. Mom. Yes, Eddie. Actually, I don't like this little tomatoes on my plate. Well, this isn't the first time that we have had them. Where did this come from? I didn't want you to think I was picky, so I never told you. But no more secrets, right? Eddie said as he lifted his pinky finger. Ellen interlocked her pink with his. Right now, more secrets. After all, we are a family now. A family, Eddie said slightly under his breath. Ellen, while turned to the stove, smiled as she could hear his whispers, to which she thought, a family. Yes, we are a family, and we shouldn't keep secrets from each other. She thought back to how long she has been here now and playing mother, nearly half a year. She couldn't believe how close they had become in such a short amount of time. Ellen was frozen staring in space, to which Eddie called out to her multiple times before Ellen finally snapped out of it. Are you okay, Mom? Was it a glitch? Is it your programming? Do I have to email the manufacturer? No, Eddie, I'm fine. You don't need to do anything. Then why were you sitting there frozen for so long? I was deep in thought. Thought? Eddie questioned slightly. Yes, thought Eddie. She sat at the table next to Eddie. Eddie, we are a family now, right? Yep, Eddie gleefully answered. And family doesn't keep secrets and still love each other regardless of the truth, right? Yes, Mom. No matter what happens, I'll let you know. I won't keep any more secrets because you'll still love me no matter what, right? Yes, I will. Will you love Mommy no matter what secrets she has, Eddie? You can tell me anything and I'll still love you more than anything. I see, Ellen whispered. Eddie, yes, Mom. Do you want to know one of Mommy's secrets? Eddie, so excited, spilled his drink. Yes, I want to know. Look at the mess you made, Eddie. As Ellen grabbed a towel and began cleaning up, she had a pause in her wiping the table. Eddie, you know, your mom. I'm not really an android. You're not, Eddie said in shock. Then what are you? Eddie gasped. Are you an alien? Ellen burst into laughter. No, I'm not an alien. I'm a person just like you. What's your A person, just like Tyler's mom? Whose Tyler went through Ellen's head, but yes, just like Tyler's mom, I'm a person. Eddie jumped into Ellen's arms. Then that means you're a real mother. You're my real mother. Ellen calmed down his excitement. But Eddie, you have to keep what I told you a secret. This is just between family. Eddie covered his mouth. Yes, just between family, he whispered. Then they sat and ate a bit more before Eddie's curiosity peaked. But I bought you from a website. Yes, you did. The owner of that website is actually my brother, your uncle. Wow, I have an uncle. When can I meet him? Who knows, he is a busy person. I see. Why did Uncle sell you on the internet? Are you a hooker, Mom? How do you know that word? The internet, Eddie innocently answered. Ellen sighed. No, I'm not a hooker. You mother just like to pretend. I'm an actor, just not in TV shows or movies. Like make-believe. I seen this on a TV show. Yes, like make-believe. Now eat your food. Ellen would give anything to make this conversation go away as soon as possible. Eddie chuckled to himself a bit more, but then he suddenly got somber. Ellen noticed and asked what's wrong. When you were an android, you had no choice but to love me and be by my side. But now that you're a person, will you leave? Eddie played with his cherry tomato, scared to look up, scared of the answer she might give. Ellen grabbed Eddie's head and kissed him on the forehead, and then she grabbed Eddie's pinky with her own. No matter what happens, whether the past or future, I will always be your mother, and I will always love you. Promise, Eddie said, I promise. That moment was the start for both of them to become a real family. All the uncomfortableness just seemed to vanish after that night, as if a dark cloud had left and the sun finally pierced the sky. But for Ellen, that was just one cloud from dark gray and stormy sky that was her life. Maybe, as she said, she could start fresh, become someone else, like her brother thought. But life isn't that easy, and the past doesn't disappear, it just lags behind. And if you're not careful, it may catch up to you and you be standing face to face with someone you'd hope you had gotten rid of, even if that someone is yourself.